The retail value represents an actual comparison shopped price on the first day QVC offered the item for sale. Other retailers may have since dropped their prices, and customers should comparison shop on their own if they wish to. Retail value does not necessarily represent the prevailing retail price in every community and does not represent a price at which QVC will sell a product. The comparable retail value represents a comparison shopped price for other merchandise of like grade and quality to the item being advertised. The if purchased separately price is the price that a product with multiple components, for example a 5-piece kit, would be expected to sell for if each individual component were valued separately and those values were then totaled. The if purchased separately price does not take into account the pricing of other multi-component products at retail that may contain some of the same component items. Lowest price we found means the price at which QVC is selling the product was the lowest our buyers found when they recently comparison shopped the product at select U.S. online retailers. QVC buyers continue to monitor the price at these select retailers as long as lowest price we found is advertised.
Good morning, everybody. Here at QVC, we are your holiday headquarters. We're going to be able to help you with all those wonderful things that will make it feel like the holidays are here, because they are. And we're going to start off with our today's special value. This is my 33rd Christmas here at QVC as a broadcast host, and I will tell you, I'm supposed to be impartial. I find it very difficult to do because I'm also a consumer. And there is no other brand name like Bethlehem lights. And when we talk about what is the most important decorative aspect of your holiday, this is an opportunity to have the perfect tree. It's our final Christmas tree, today's special value of the entire year. And if you look at its silhouette, the first thing you'll notice is that it is a slender tree, which is the hottest thing right now in home decor for the holidays. We've got some choices for you, and the savings are anywhere from $50 to $100. There are 3 different sizes for you, okay? I've got a 5-foot tree, I have a 7-foot tree, and I have a 7.5. 8.5. My apologize. 5 foot, 7 foot, 8.5. That works perfectly for the average ceiling or for taller ceilings. Or if you're downsizing, the 5-foot tree, when you put it on a table, becomes your 8-foot tree. And everything goes together so quickly. And because they are Bethlehem lights, iridescent Christmas lights, in your choice of either multicolor or the clear, you're going to have the best the industry has to offer. The first thing that you should know is that this year there has been a huge shortage of Christmas trees. Okay? that's a camera shot of a camera. We don't do that very often. I like that. You're going to find it hard to find Christmas trees in general this year. And to have Bethlehem lights and have it here exclusively is beautiful. Now, the choices are, we have green, we have flocked, and we have blue spruce. In this green, I have all 3 sizes available. The 5-foot, the 7.5, and the 8.5. In the flocked, this flocked at midnight was amazing. I have the clear and multi here in the 5-foot. I have clear and multi in this 7-foot, but in this 8.5-foot, I have it only in multi, and there are 2 dozen that are remaining. Okay? In the blue spruce, and I want you to notice how many plastic molded tips there are. There is no better designer of a Christmas tree than Mother Nature. I only have the 5-foot and the 7-foot in the blue spruce, but I do have clear and multi in both. All right? I want to show you something that took over 3 years to get. This was my only contribution to Bethlehem lights in this Christmas tree, is having the plug at the top so that you can put a star on it. It took 3 years to get Underwriter Laboratory listing to be able to do that. The value is exceptional. And I really appreciate that this thinner profile tree lends itself so easily to being that second tree, or to put in a place that you've never been able to put a tree before. Or you're someone like my father who's getting up in years and saying, you know what, I'm downsizing this year. You don't have to, but you don't have to take up the entire room and have to move furniture to put a tree up anymore. And because these are Bethlehem lights, they're the best. That 5-footer would normally be $314. Our today's special value price is $259. The 7-footer would normally be $483. We're at under $400. That's a savings of $83, $84 right there. Your biggest savings, though, is that 8.5-footer if you've got a place for it. That normally would be a $665 tree. We're at $549. That 8.5-footer, by the way, has 750 lights on it and over 1,200 molded plastic tips. For a slimline tree, that's unheard of. I want to bring my expert in and a dear friend. Michelle, you look like you're walking through the forest. Michelle Stretch has been a part of the Bethlehem Lights team for many, many years, a dear, dear friend. We've been asking for a slimmer silhouette. We've been asking for more lights, more tips. And as advanced as LED has gotten, it's still not the same as a real Christmas tree light. This is the real deal.
It really is. And you know, we love those incandescent lights, the Bethlehem lights. We've been bringing trees to QVC for over 2 decades. And we listen to the customer, we listen to you, we listen to, and you know, and Dan, you work with our team too. You got that great little plug at the top of these trees. But these are beautiful. They are that slim profile that goes anywhere in your home. They're fairly lightweight too. Even on the largest tree, that 8.5-foot tree, the heaviest section is under 15 pounds.
Yep.
We brought you that blue spruce as well. So many tips on here, and a very high percentage of those molded tips. So it looks fresh from the farm, and it's gorgeous. And you know what? And we loaded it with our technology too, that instant power technology, Dan, where each of those sections snap together easily, ready shape so they fluff into place. We even wrap the branches with greenery on this tree, so you don't see any metal, any wires, even when you look to the inside of the tree. So that even adds to that fullness.
The number of lights, I think, is amazing.
Yes.
Because the lights are what gets you excited. That's what makes you feel like a little kid again. This 5-foot tree has 300 lights on it. That's unheard of. That's how many light trends. When we started selling Bethlehem Lights Christmas trees, which has been over 20 years ago, to have 300 lights on a standard 7.5-foot was a lot. There's 300 lights on this tree, so it's lit perfectly all the way around. If we step up and we go to the 7-foot tree, there's 450 lights on it. And then when we get into the big guy, which is going to be that 8.5-foot tree, then we start getting into almost outrageous numbers like 750 lights. And yet the entire tree can be set up literally in seconds, because you don't have to worry about plug in, plug in, and plug in, and plug. This used to be 10 to 12 strands of lights. Now, Bethlehem Lights can do it in such a way where you only have one power cord to plug into the wall, and it's a nice long length cord. Also, I really do appreciate the fact that it comes with a foot pedal now, because that foot pedal means that you're not having to crawl on the floor, you know, at 12 midnight when you're ready to go to bed to unplug that Christmas tree. We always had to do that. And we're also looking at trees that we know are going to last not just for a few years, but potentially for generations because of the quality. And the lights are beautiful. How are these lights different than the old-fashioned Christmas lights? Because, Michelle, you and I both know the frustration of having the middle part. It's always the middle part of the tree that doesn't light up. It's never the top or the bottom. It's always right here.
It can ruin Christmas. It has happened to me before, and it has happened to me in the past with the Bethlehem Lights tree, because we now have a new technology. It's commercial light technology. So when a light bulb comes out, okay, the rest of the tree stays lit. And it shouldn't fall out, but if it happens to fall out, no problem at all. And I'm going to show you that. So I pulled this light bulb out right here.
Yep.
And everything else stays lit. That's our commercial light technology. So if one breaks or falls out, all of the rest of those lights stay lit, as you see. And they are gorgeous incandescent lights, Dan. They're not hot, okay? And they sparkle from all sides around, unlike an LED light would do. This is like, Chad and I like to describe this like a campfire. So it lights everything around it. Your ornaments will be lit up. Those branches will be lit up. You're getting a great look at those beautiful molded tips. And there's 3 little sprigs coming out from each of those.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and even on the inside, as I mentioned, we wrap each of those branches. So you don't see any wires there. So we took greenery, wrapped those branches, and look at that. They just pop right back into place.
And by the way, all that workmanship done by hand. Every one of these trees started with hand workmanship. The green, the classic green has been the most popular. If you don't mind, I'm going to bring the lights up again because I want you to be able to see these differences. But this is a winter wonderland. This is a traditional green. I also have blue spruce. And then I also have the fully flocked. And if you remember and only remember flocked trees from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there's a huge difference. This flocking doesn't come off the way it used to. And they flocked right over the lights, so it looks like a wintry scene. Now, these are a slender designed tree. That's what people have been asking for. Maybe this is going to be that second tree that you've always wanted in an entryway or a kitchen or a bedroom, but you just didn't have the space for a tree that bulges out 48 inches or more. We have a 5-foot height, we've got a 7-foot height, and then we've got the 8.5 foot. In the flocked, and that 8.5 foot, which one is it that I'm going? The multi is the only one I have, and I've got half a dozen. Is that right? Somewhere around that? 2 dozen. Pardon me, 2 dozen. The clear is already gone. Over here is the blue spruce. And I've got to tell you, Michelle, what you did with these new molded tips, they're actually softer, more resilient. Can you see the brown in there? It's there. They look so lifelike, so exact. And we're talking about a tree that you will appreciate for years. I think this 5-footer is charming. And if you put that on a small pedestal, that's still big enough to be your focal point. We've had now over 2,000. 2,800 trees have been purchased already this morning since midnight. Let's talk about assembly, Michelle, because that's things that people worry about. How easy is it now with the new industrial trees?
It's so easy. So you get a stand, and there's a single eye bolt there on that stand, and it's a self-leveling. You put the bottom section in, you plug it in, extra long cord. That foot pedal is 4 feet from the tree. You can tuck it underneath that skirt if you want. There's the second piece, and then you have the top piece. Each of these trees are 3 pieces, the 7 and the 8.5.
Yep.
And even the heaviest section on that 8.5 is under 15 pounds. The 5-foot tree is only 2 sections. And then there, it's easy to decorate. I'm just going to take the top off of mine, okay? Hold on a second. Here we go. Easy. Look at this. And there is that plug. Each of those plug into every section. They're marked A, B, and C, and there's a little notch on each one. And that's how easy it is to put that tree together. Very easy, even if, you know, you're getting that 8.5-foot tree, which, by the way, is our new size this year.
Yep.
We wanted to do that for you because most people have 9-foot ceilings. And if you've got a 9-foot tree, obviously it's going to hit the ceiling. So from the bottom to the very top, I'm standing by the 7, but that 8.5-foot is brand new this year. And I think you're going to love it. You're going to get all that impact and grandeur of that 9-foot tree in the 8.5.
Not only this year is it going to be difficult to find artificial Christmas trees or even real Christmas trees. Most Christmas trees, unless you live in the western part of the United States or in the South, most Christmas trees are trucked in for sale. Real trees. They're going to be difficult to get this year. And you're going to find that they may be very, very sparse, not just in quantity, but I want you to see, even though this is a slimline tree, how rich and deep and full it is. There's branches